One.
Hey, everybody, we're live. Our normal people aren't here, so we're doing this by ourselves. I'm doing the intro. It's a thing. Welcome to Final Show Films. We do nerd shit. We play games. You're here watching us, I assume, or you're watching this on YouTube later. Either way, we wanted to say thanks for stopping by. Also, if you like our what we do and you'd like to support us, you can go to our Patreon, patreon.com/FSFilms, where you can give us your hard-earned money that we all labor for by trading our time under capitalism, because socialism would be a much better system for a lot of us, but alas, this is what we have to work with. We did also want to extend some special thanks to people who have supported us in the past, and many of whom continue to. Catwater Flame, Drevian Alexander, Samantha Bates, Shard System, and Rowan Parker among them. Thank you so much for contributing to us so that we can continue to do what we do. And that's it for the intro today. I'm super meta about everything. You're going to hear probably from our storyteller next, which is going to be William/Sonny. Eventually. We might do a transition. We might not. We might just roll into it. Let's see what happens.
Fuck transitions.
Yeah, I was about to say screen transition. Hi, everybody.
I could switch to the break screen and then back if that helps.
I think we missed the moment.
All right. Hello, everybody. I am William or Shawnee, and I am your game master. Welcome to Wrath and Glory Under the Steel Sky, episode 8. The House that Pain Built.
Ow.
Joining me today, we have Mara.
Hi, I'm Mara. I'm playing Tina, an orc pilot.
And we have Jack.
Hey everybody, I'm Jack. I'm playing Aristarchus Dactyl, member of the Adeptus Mechanicus, and our heavily armored medic.
And Holly.
Hi, I'm Holly. I'm playing Blair Hart, Ganger Scum.
And Julia. As we lost
disappeared.
Julia.
Oh no!
Oh no!
Oh god!
Doing
This is
great,
gonna be great.
folks.
Oh, perfect timing. Right as I was calling her name. Oh, there she is.
Oh,
There we go, Julia. You have great comedic timing.
That was clutch.
And joining us is Julia.
Hi, everybody. I'm Julia, and my internet's on the fritz. That symbol definitely says I have no internet, but I'm here. And I'm playing Laurel Fire, the Eldari Corsair, mercenary for House Tandris.
And currently running the stream and fixing the overlay is Jeremy.
Is fixed, is fine. Hi, I'm Jeremy. I make no apologies for how shitty our overlay is tonight. I am playing Remy Mara. He just hates life. Like, it all sucks. But he is whatever he is.
Like a ganger, I believe.
Something like that.
He's just a dude.
He's just a guy. He's just a guy.
Just guy.
You know, it's just a guy, man.
Black Lives Matter. Trans rights are human rights.
Yes, Black Lives Matter, trans rights are human rights. The stream would be powered by Sirenscape, but I'm not dealing with it right now with all the other nonsense we're working with.
Oh,
right
good.
now.
It's powered by Ghost Sirenscape. You can't hear it, but it might be there.
And we're all gonna roll a d6.
Yes, everyone roll your objectives for me. This is the most slapdash.
Amazing.
Ooh.
All right. In order of operations, Jack, tell me what your objective is.
Calculate the odds of any given task and provide an estimate of survival or success. I get to see 3PO today.
Ollie, tell me what your objective is.
Recount a desperate act of survival you once made.
Mara, tell me what your objective is.
Apply the cunning of the orc god Mork to a situation.
Those tracks. Julia, tell me what your objective is.
Utilize the reputation of your species to manipulate an individual. Do you mean talking?
And Jeremy, tell me what your
alternative. Explain how a common object has an alternative use, probably as a weapon.
Probably, but not necessarily.
Not necessarily.
I think the common object should be a weapon, and you give an alternative use that is definitely non-violent in nature.
Tracks. But when last we left off, the group had reconvened after gathering information and finding potential allies and new places to keep the Hostile Hearts gang safe, and begun to discuss the situation that they had found themselves in, including the identities of the mysterious individuals who seem to be at least operating a significant portion of what is going on in the Hive City. The mysterious Tycho Mordoric and the now recently identified Janaea Tandris of House Tandris. As the group was alleviating some tensions,
You make it sound like we were getting laid.
I don't know, man.
I just work here.
But as the group was conversing and coming to grips with each other,
Not much better.
I saw that smile, Shawnee.
At this point, it's on purpose.
You know exactly what you did.
So
I
proud
make
of
no
everybody here.
apologies. They were contacted by Jordan Tendris, the Primaris Psyker of the Umbral of the Ferris 519th, who had invited the group to dinner at House Tandris to discuss the recent events and potential relationships that the group and the house has to what's going on. The group, taking some time to better outfit themselves and gather up some war gear, made preparations before the evening arrives to adjourn to dinner. But I believe, as we pick up here, there's still a couple people who have some more things to do. I believe at the very least our orc needs to go get a fancy hat.
Yes.
So, what is the group up to? Tina, are you splitting off and going home, or?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you say anything, or do you just wander off?
I need to go get some hats.
What? Oh, okay.
So we're what now?
This is a fancy party. I need hats.
I mean, all right. Mhm.
It's my fanciest hats.
Where would you get fancy hats? Do you have them?
I have one. I can see about getting another one.
Oh, didn't know the Orcs ran an haberdashery.
A what?
An haberdashery. A hat shop. You like give them a handful of teeth and then they give you a fancy hat. Yeah?
No, these are hats I found.
Ah, scavenged wardrobe. All right.
They used to be other people's. Now they're mine.
That makes a little.
That sort of scavenge. I
Stolen
understand.
hats.
Yeah, no, that make that. Yep. All right. Well, I suppose that eliminates the need to ask the question if you need any accompaniment on this little shopping trip of yours.
If you want to.
Aristarchus fully expects that Tina is just going to wander through the Underhive until she sees someone wearing a hat that she likes and then beat them to death for it.
That'll be how I get the second one. I feel like I
Right.
have one fancy hat, but like
Okay.
two, I have enough. Like I don't think Tina has been an occasion where she might need two fancy hats, so she just had the one. Now I need two.
And Aristarchus, you were just offered to go and see the orc conclave by the orc.
Uh-huh.
Well, it seems like that might be a rather interesting observational opportunity, I would be most delighted to accompany you, Miss Tina.
Okay, let's go.
Excellent. Let's go.
I'm coming too.
I was going to say so.
Blair's not letting this happen.
Always pleasure to have your company, Miss Blair.
At some point, I do need to get an outfit for tonight, but I will accompany you too.
Oh, we can see if we can get you one too on the way.
It's fine. I will.
Gonna be fascinating.
I can go into a shop to get mine. I don't mind that.
They don't normally let me in shops.
I will find a moment to get an outfit. I will accompany you to get your fancy hats.
Okay. Walk down with
Aristarchus
my
literally just puts his data slate in like a little shoulder slot that he has for it, and he's basically GoProing this entire thing just to see what happens.
Yes.
Blair will just lock eyes with Remy for a minute, kind of roll her eyes a little bit,
Shrug.
like motioning to them, and go off.
All right.
All right. So, Remy and Laurel, did you have anything else to do while this group goes down to the Digtinka tribe?
I don't know if Laurel does. I don't think she's really going to be dressing up.
Same.
But you have another different, bizarrely colored Hawaiian shirt you need to grab.
No, why would you need another one? I have this one.
I'm still waiting for Holly to find that in Goodwill somewhere.
I just really like the idea of Remy and Laurel they walk up and then they just look at each other uncomfortably because they don't really have anything to say.
There's been a bit of an awkward silence. Oh, how long that lasts? 3 hours.
So I have to ask, is this going to be your first time up in the Upper Hive?
Not at all.
Good.
What should we expect
Well,
from
Master Tandris is stern yet generally fair, and not as often prone to fits of anger as other nobles I have seen.
Okay. It's a good sign. How do you think this is going to go with some of our company?
While I do have a bit of admiration for Tina's spirit, to say that she will stick out is probably the understatement of the millennium.
Mm-hmm. That's fair to say. I wasn't just talking about
Of course.
Tina.
You and Blair, I believe, should not have much of a problem. Despite your, I'm trying not to word this to insult anyone.
Oh, feel good. Go just
Just
say what you're going to say.
Your professions and your situations. You two handle yourselves very well. And
Thank you.
I suspect both of you are a little bit more than what meets the eye.
I think that's pretty fair to say. All right. Well,
I think Master Tangents will have no problem with Aristarchus, though he might want to. Blair should definitely not leave him alone. I believe he can behave, but from what I have seen, he tends to wander. And not necessarily a bad thing.
no, but it can be.
Yes, it can.
And our employer.
Saris. Saris was welcomed into House Tendris last time with, I would say, fairly open arms, but there's always a chance anyone could change their mind at any point in time. As long as she keeps certain things under wraps, I don't think there will be much of a problem. I am not certain that my patron necessarily knows everything about our employer.
I would. Fair enough. I mean, I think it's. Do you think this? How to phrase? What do you think, in addition to the obvious revelation that we have, is the point of it? Is the point of this invite? Or even with that revelation, how would you predict this is going to go? Are we going to get leaned on to go a certain way? I mean, we probably are, but which way would that be, would you guess?
I'm fairly certain that we will be pushed. Meta, for having missed last week, what is this revelation that we had?
The presence of Janaea Tandris as the daughter of House Tandris, the psyker that Tycho has in his command, is supposedly, as far as information goes, the twin brother of Jordan Tandris, the psyker that you met at the end of the last session you were in, and also the daughter of Lord Malton Tandris.
There was some kind of assumption, I think, that she wasn't known to be a Sager. Like, no one knew she existed.
If I had to guess, with the way things have been in the past and how Janaea has not necessarily been in the spotlight, as it were, we will probably be pushed away from her, at least from Lord Tendris.
That's going to be tricky.
It is.
When you say pushed away, you mean leave her out of the investigation, which is functionally impossible, or
I think less that and more do not allow our association or my patron's association with her influence our standings, as it were.
keep it quiet.
Yes.
Easier. Less admirable. All right. Oh, and also functionally probably not going to happen because we have a Ceres.
I can almost guarantee that. I don't think it will be I don't want to say it will be unpleasant for the evening, but tensions are definitely going to be high the entire time.
I do not miss this stuff. All right.
Laurel will just sort of give him a sidelong glance, but not press that.
Meanwhile, the three of you descend the hive. Going down is relatively quick, especially when you can just sort of drop several levels when there's a good place to do so. You make your way down, back again to the bare earth at the very bottom of the hive city. And after a bit of wandering around, you manage to make your way back to the Digtinka tribe. Once again, the first person to greet you as you arrive, Tina, is Dregbonk. Poor old Dregbonk.
I drink bunk.
Aye,
Wave.
aye, Tina. What brings you
Hey.
back to the tribe so quick?
I gotta pick up a hat.
All right. These two, you
With
bringing
me.
food or friends? Oh, all right.
Friends.
All right. Well, welcome to the tribe. I'm Dregbonk.
How do you do, Master Dregbonk?
I'm Blair Hart.
Yeah.
She's
What's
helping us-
Dregbonk look like?
So Dregbonk
Big.
is the second smallest orc in the tribe, which is to say, still a good like half a foot taller than Tina,
Okay.
and a good like 60 or so pounds of more muscle.
Mm-hmm.
But he's got like a significantly more slackened jaw than you would compare to Tina in the sense of this does not appear to be an intellectual individual.
Okay.
He definitely seems like the very simple follows orders does job kind of orc, with not too much in the way of individual wit or cunning.
Okay.
He's more of a gork than a mork.
Very good.
Which is what you need sometimes.
Absolutely.
He's probably going to want to talk to Gorgrod when he's back. I think she was talking about some weird stuff going on.
Oh, okay, sure.
We do like weird stuff.
Oh, yeah, her as we kind of go past and in a low sort of yell. Weird as in the like weird psyker stuff is name of person that I don't have my notes for, so this is gonna be fun.
Where's Zod?
Where's Zod?
Well, that's going to be interesting to see regardless.
I would recommend staying way back if she gets kind of irritated or real excited or any sort of big emotion. Things sometimes stuff explodes.
So just stay way back.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is a very fascinating situation, you know, Miss Blair, because under normal circumstances, I would think following Tina as the primary social lead in any given interactive situation would be a rare occurrence. And yet here we find ourselves in a very different environment where she is the expert.
These are her people.
I know. It's just very intriguing, I must say.
This way.
Aristarchus follows.
Blair right next to Aristarchus, just in case he tries to wander.
As you wander through, each of you get the sight of the Digtinka tribe for the first time. It is a sort of sprawling camp built entirely out of scrap metal and bone. Everything's like every building looks like it's manufactured out of a series of metal plates that have been hammered together until they stayed in place. The walls that surround it are tall towers of scrap with sharpened spikes put on the end. You can see runes and glyphs of painted orc writing on every surface, though none of you but Tina can really read it. There are a number of individual orcs. As you look around, you count several dozen. It's not a large concentration of orcs by any means, but there are definitely a good number of them. As you sort of look around, most of them are sort of getting about their business. Most of them look at Tina, sort of offer a bit of a side eye, and then sort of a shrug, like, whatever. Some of them offer a wave when Tina waves. Um, uh, but after a moment, word seems to spread, and out coming towards you is the largest orc any of you have ever seen. As the approaching frame of Gorgrod the Big, one of the chief knobs of the camp, makes her presence known. This orc is approaching 10 feet tall, and is about half as wide. Raw mass of muscle and like heavy metal armor. There's a large black metal jaw plate bolted to her chin that sort of extends her already impressive jaw with just metal spikes underneath it. There's a pair of rings in one ear. Her pate sort of attached with a long hair squig that seems to like stretch out behind her to about her shoulders. And then big spiked metal armor decorated primarily in black, but with like black and white checker marks on the shoulders. As she approaches, you can see the snapping of her massive power claw, this big, monstrous machination of metal that has 3 scissoring blades with like piston activation that looks like it could probably shred a tank. And sort of slung at her shoulder is a big shooter, which is just this massive fuck off hunk of metal that is the shape of a gun.
Mm-hmm.
As she approaches, "Hey, Tina. It's been a while. What brings you back this time?"
Picking up a hat.
Right. You've been out and about, right? Got some business for you.
Uh-huh.
Follow me. We got to go talk to old Grot Kicker who's watching Warzone. Oh, speaking of which, Minion's been waiting for you since you left him down here last time.
Oh, shit. I forgot. She says that. That's in character.
But old Grot Kicker and Warzone got some news about some weird stuff's been going around, and since you've been the one who's been out and about, you's probably best to know about it.
Yeah. Okay.
Gorgrod.
Where are they?
Turns back towards the drops where the squigs are.
Okay. This way. Come on to the rest of us.
Do we follow Tina away? Aristarchus will turn to Blair. Confidentially speaking, in my expert opinion, whatever weapon it was that largest one was carrying looks like a first year's attempt at a pattern configuration reject from Liefeld Arms.
All right.
As you depart from Gorgrod, you do, however, hear, "Oi, get back in place!" And you hear the rapid fire staccato of machine gun fire being aimed in someone's direction, as that gun clearly works, whether or not he thinks it should.
It's not pretty, but it works.
But you enter the drops. Everything gets even darker than it already is, with the low lit gas light and energy lighting of the orc camp going away as you enter an area that is only lit by glowing mushrooms. And as you walk in, you see mushrooms everywhere, just piles upon piles of growing fungus underneath. As you enter a sort of an underground cave system that is, as you listen, you can hear skittering noises and scrabbling as small things with claws wander around in the dark.
Yeah, we're gonna go to look at some of those mushrooms. Aristarchus just picks whatever the closest glowy mushroom is to go take a sample.
Do I need to warn him about anything? I don't know.
I mean, you don't think anything down here is dangerous, but you're you, so
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, and Aristarchus is not stupid. He's going to look before he grabs just to see it's
Okay.
like, does this thing
Okay.
look like it has teeth hidden somewhere?
I would. Yeah. All right. Then I'll just let that happen.
Excellent.
so you sort of wander your way towards one of these mushrooms and look at it. It looks most of these mushrooms look to be similar, like they're from a similar species,
Mhm.
Which, according to your biological data, makes sense. This is probably orchoid fungus. These
Mhm.
are probably the mushrooms that spring up in the wake of orchoid incursions and general infestations that serve as both food supply and also early stages of development for orcs.
Yep.
Typically speaking, the things that you would normally expect to be around here, orcs, these kinds of funguses, probably a few Gretchen, the smaller orchoid species, snotlings, the even smaller iterations that tend to tend the fungi, and also you sort of fall back as a massive maw of gnashing teeth comes lunging at your face. A walking mouth on legs of red flesh just sort of leaps out from behind a mushroom, teeth the size of your hand, sort of snapping in your face as you fall back. As a squig decides that you look like lunch.
Blair goes to stab this thing.
You sort of step forward and start drawing a knife as this big like maw on legs lunges forward, only for a massive like cattle prod or like hook contraption descends out of the darkness and snatches the squig around the jaws and sort of lifts it up off of the ground. As
like in a in one of those grab machines. Just
yeah,
one of
like
those.
a claw machine, but it's instead of the three hands, it's just like two hooked prongs that sort of latch around its lower jaw and like pick it up. As emerging from the shadows is another of the largest orcs you've ever seen, in the form of old Grotkika, the runt herd of the tribe. What looks to be an ancient orc, at least by orc standards. His skin is cragged and cracked with numerous scars. One of his legs has been chopped off and replaced with a peg leg, which also looks to be a gun. As he sort of steps forward, you can see this big blazing orange hair squig has been attached to his chin, creating this massive beard effect. As he sort of holds the squig up in this grabbing stick that has like got it under the jaws, he sort of looks at it. Now, you ain't supposed to be mistreating our guests, the old orc says, sort of grabbing the squig by the face, bringing it in and just biting into it. And he sort of, the squig struggles for a minute and then goes limp as old Grotkika seems to have found his latest snack as he sort of chomps on the squig for a bit. So, Tina, I see you've brought friends.
Yeah. They're helping me find a big fight for us all to get into.
About that. Wurzord's been having weird visions.
Yeah.
Figured you might be good to talk to her. Find out what she's on about.
Sure.
Right, you two, she says, looking at the two humans. Humies like yourselves ain't too safe down here, so mind the drops, stay clear of the squigs. Don't let the snotlings snatch anything.
Aristarchus will check all of his various accoutrements to see if anything's gone missing.
Thank you for the advice.
Oh, good, all well and good. Eventually, you probably end up in a fight, and then we get the repayment we need.
Oh, we're working our way to an extraordinarily big conflagration fight. Absolutely. Any minute now.
Looking forward to it. These old bones ache for a good fight. He sort of indicates with the grab a stick, which is what you can. It looks like a massive walking stick, only it ends in two like spiked prongs that has like a lever that can be used to open and shut it to grab things. But he sort of indicates with it to deeper into the drops where you can see like a faint like orange electric glow.
All right.
You find Wurzor down there.
Right. Okay.
Blair will check all her possessions and then just pull Aristarchus in closer by his arm.
Yes, Miss Hart. What can I do for you?
Just stay close. I don't want you to die down here.
I'm rather opposed to that concept myself. Same goes for you.
I'll be fine.
Aristarchus is not going to run the math on that.
as you walk further on, you are treated to the sight of the activities that go down in the drops. You see Gretchen, these like small goblinoid creatures, sort of riding a couple of these squigs, these like big like legged mouths on legs, riding a couple of them around, swinging lashes at snotlings, which are even smaller and rounder and stuntier looking goblinoid creatures, even smaller than the Gretchens, enjoying the momentary chance to oppress someone else, to be free from instead of their normal being kicked around. As the snotlings tend to the mushrooms and sort of like dig them out for food or uncover. You see one of them uncovering a big heap of dirt as you see an orc being dug up out of the ground, completely naked, as it just sort of drags itself out from underneath one of these mushrooms that's being dug up off of it. As it sort of, you see an orc being born, as it sort of crawls its way out from the dirt. What's going on? It sort of mutters in rudimentary speech. As you see, old Grotkicker wanders out. All right, Runt, get yourself out of the dirt. It's time to wake up. Welcome to the tribe. As he sort of wrenches him up with the gravistick. Go get yourself kitted out. He sort of shoves him off out of the drops.
Welcome. How exciting.
New life.
The miracle of birth. Right out of the dirt. It's a beautiful thing. Well, I'll keep going.
You keep going, and you find yourself approaching a faint green glow. And as you do, you see a floating orc, like hovering off the ground. But it looks like the floating isn't necessarily voluntary, as they're currently, they have several chains wrapped around them that are being used to tether them to the ground as they sort of hover like 6 inches off of it. Their feet sort of just barely dangling towards the ground. They're holding this sort of copper rod in one hand as green lightning seems to arc off of them. This orc's brain is completely exposed as the top of their skull seems to have exploded off, and there's just brain matter open to the air as green lightning sort of arcs off of their eyes as they look around. There's 3 or 4 different orcs just holding the chains, keeping them tethered to the ground. As they sort of hover in circles, just sort of babbling around. And the moon speaks, and the fire rains down. Ah, Tina, it's good to see you.
Hi, Warzon. I'm going to go up sort of partway between all of the other orcs and like where she is kind of floating. Just, hi.
It's good to see the evil sun grin still. Nice to see ya.
Nice to see you too. What was his name? Said you were having visions.
Yes,
Seeing
I
stuff.
see a spiky one.
Spiky
There.
one.
There's a fight brewing. You know
Yeah.
it. You will find it. But there's more to it than yous can see. There's a spiky one in the wings, and one of them dead hard lads. Like the spiky ones in reverse. One of them too. I sees it. The big glowing hard boys in all their fancy dress. One of them and the spiky boys they hate so much. Two of them, one hunting the other hunting them. It's all going around. I cruise around them. They's got little ones like we's got grots. Little Yumis doing a fighting for 'em. Little histories of violence. I think if yous can find the little ones, yous can find the spiky one. And there's the real fight. 'Cause the tin boys, they bring the big guns, and the spiky one brings the dead hard things from the other side. You find that, and the whole tribe will rejoice for the fight they can have. Any questions?
We met a spiky lad. It's very creepy, but not spooky. Creepy, but not no weird stuff. Do you mean him?
No, that's the little one. The spiky one's yet to be seen. There's more to be found.
Yeah.
The big boss of the little ones.
In the shadows or underground or
He's somewhere around here. One of the tin boys is hunting them down.
We're going to fancy party up above ground tonight. Have you seen anything?
Bring a fancy hat.
Yes. I was planning on that already.
It looks like one of your little ones has something to ask, it says, looking directly at Blair.
I was just wondering if you could be a little more specific on location.
Gork and Moke just tell me things. I just listen. I speak what the great green has for me.
I appreciate. Just figured I would ask.
More.
Excuse me, do you know what color the spiky one is?
I see red, crimson, like the evil sun, or like what happens when you cut one of you Yumis open.
Well, that'll certainly give us something to work on.
I see somebody who don't shut up.
Look, I'm right here.
That's not very specific.
A talker, a spiky boys. Someone who knows old things that's beyond relevant. Stuck in the past, this spiky boy is. Reliving old battles. Gore and the grudge they hold.
All right, well, I've got all that on video if we need to look at it later.
They hold a grudge like the squats do. Speaking of which, there's a squat somewhere here. Trade coming. One of the squats from the center of the big spiral. On his way here. You've got friends to make, Tina, and enemies to crump.
Yeah.
Go
How do I
on.
know which one's which?
That's up to you to figure out, ain't it?
Yeah.
And for the rest of the lads to follow in your footsteps. Use our scout, evil son. Go find a path.
Salute.
Go on now, I's gotta. Wah! And she just sort of aims her head up towards the sky, and green warp fire spits out of her mouth as she sort of off gases raw energy.
I feel like
That's
that's
good. She needs to release it somehow.
I see. Let's be maybe finding your hat there, Tina.
Yeah,
Maybe.
where's your hat?
Oh, yeah. It's back this way. My stuff. Leave the drops area.
Blair will whisper to Aristarchus. You recorded all that, right?
I've got every single detail recorded, and we will review that and figure out which of it might be actionable suggestion.
I hope you wrote most of that down, because rambling in Weird Boy is not easy to do.
That's fair.
Don't expect me to recall much of it.
I tried. I have a bit of it.
And which of it is the diseased ravings of an obviously exposed mind that has been contaminated by particulate matter without proper hygienic protocols in place?
Warsaw's right all the time.
And what about the times when Wurzod isn't right? How many times do those crop up?
Not as much.
There you are.
But they do happen.
Usually when
I don't know.
Wurzod's not right, someone's head explodes.
Yeah. That's usually bad.
Well, that's reassuring.
All right then.
So we want her to be right.
I do understand that perspective.
Are you still recording?
I mean, is there a reason I should not be?
Cause my I haven't cleaned in a while.
I can turn it off.
Okay.
You don't need to record every second of every day.
No, this is more of the expedition to the underbelly orc tribe, given the unique nature of the scenario here. It's a matter of some academic interest to many people.
Like, I've heard about spies, and you take, stuff that you find out about someplace, and then you tell other people about it, and we don't want that to happen to your stuff, because then I'd have to squish you.
I understand.
Did I apply the cunning of the orc god work?
Sure. All right, after Snikya comes a voice from just over your shoulder, Aristarchus. As you look over your shoulder, oh hey, Lugbad snuck up on you.
Oh, look bad.
When they hear that, Blair just shoves Aristarchus behind her.
So jumpy.
You see a like roughly 9.5, between 8 and 9 feet, 8, 9.5 feet tall orc, covered pretty much head to toe in like dark black leathers and like gear. They have a pair of like chrome goggles over their eyes that like orc eyes are already kind of small, but they kind of just like cover them entirely.
Yeah, with like purple highlights.
Yeah. There's like a couple of grenades strapped to their back, like a big tub of ammunition over their shoulders, just shotgun shells slung down one side, a big slug thrower on their back, and a pistol on their hip. There's a dynamite stick just sitting free on their right shoulder. They've got their mouth sort of covered with this big respirator with like gas mask tubes on the side of it. And then a big chopper on the backpack on the left side.
I feel like this is what you would get if you took Junkrat and Roadhog and Reaper and just put them in a blender and poured it out into an orc shape.
Kind of. He looks down at you. So don't go poking your nose round where it ain't needed.
Funny you should mention, I've been thinking about getting my nose removed, and then I wouldn't have to worry about poking it anywhere.
I could do that for
Why
you.
would you do that? No, thank you.
You don't need to.
Why would you
He's
do
still-
that, Aristarchus?
Well, you have to replace your respiratory, and so sometimes it helps if you clear off the installation zone before the implant is surgically applied. So, yeah.
That's a later talk.
All right.
Good to see you, Tina.
Yeah.
I'll be out and about if you need me help.
Mm-hmm.
And as you look at him, Lugbad just backs up into the shadows and disappears. I'm not certain how he does that.
Yeah.
Or how they do
Okay.
that. Sorry.
Yeah.
Pronouns. They all use different ones.
Okay. We're gonna go circle around this way, but he knows where I live anyway. Don't let him know where you live. Okay. Let's go.
Yeah, let's just get this hat.
So, you lead them to your junk pile. What does your junk pile look like for those who are approaching it for the first time?
Slightly chaos. I don't think Kina's super good at organizing. Like, I think she's got like it's like just a bunch of chaos, but she knows where everything is, and there is a very careful way you wend your way through this thing. You don't want to go off the path because then you might get stuck. That's by design, and I think she's got a lot of like little like kind of tunnels to go in that not a lot of the other orcs can get through just because she's small compared to everyone else. So she uses that to her advantage. Kind of in the middle of like a kind of like ant pile situation. And then on the inside, it's got a whole bunch of weird, like it's very think Ariel's cave in The Little Mermaid.
Just a bunch of random knickknacks and trinkets.
Random human knickknacks. What is all this random stuff? Why is this fork right here? Look at it. It's so small and interesting. And
does Aristarchus see anything particularly interesting or noteworthy amongst Tina's ILO crap?
Roll me awareness. Why not? See if you spot anything that Tina has accrued over time.
That's 2.
There's a few bits that look like scavenged mechanical pieces that have been picked up over time. You can see the treads of that what used to be a servo. of what used to be a servitor, sort of piled in one corner. You can see there looks to be the remains of a heavy hauler, a Torox heavy hauler truck that is sort of like upended on one corner that forms a wall of this interior space.
All right. You'll just kind of make a note of that and wait to see what sort of hat Tina finds.
So Tina reaches into a pile and starts rummaging around, and pulls out a small, I don't remember what the color sort of meanings of things are, but it's probably blue. That's the lucky color,
lucky.
right?
Blue's lucky, yeah.
Yeah. A blue top hat. Sort of puts it on. Finds a fragment of mirror, checks. Yeah, this'll do. And then it takes the hat off and very carefully sort of puts it away so that I don't squish it on the way out.
Notably, the top hat has this like weird feather plume on it that you're not certain where it came from. It definitely doesn't look orky. It looks like it was scavenged from somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That is a fancy hat.
Thank you.
Nice.
There you are, boss. I've been waiting for you. You hear a tiny voice from across the scrap pile.
Hi, minion.
You look over.
I forgot about you.
You look over and you see a Gretchen, another one of these small goblinoid creatures that sort of scrabbles out from behind a pile of scrap. Mostly shirtless, just kind of wearing like a set of worn out like pants that have been patched up with spikes and bits. It sort of has a backpack sort of slung over it over its shoulders, just sort of loose fitting, full of random scrap and ammo and bullets. And it has like a little pistol on one hip and a tiny knife on the other. Sorry, you left me behind when you went too fast last time.
Wait, we're going to a fancy party. You need a hat. Hang on. Dives back into the pile. Retrieves a foil party hat. Which is not fancy enough for Tina for the party, but is fancy enough for Minion for the party. And also it fits him better.
Does it have a little elastic strap on the bottom?
Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Minion like takes it, straps it on. You can play it. It very snugly fits. It was clearly a child's party hat, and it fits Minion perfectly because he's about that size.
Excellent.
He's thank you very much, boss.
Welcome. Okay. We gotta get going. Blair needs clothes, and I need another hat. None of the other ones I have are good enough.
I have clothes. I just need something nice to wear tonight.
Oh, while you's here, boss, you want to get anything from Mech Dig Tinker? Any gear you need?
As I remember what gear I have, I think I'm good on weapons. Let's see here.
You got a big chopper, you got a burner.
I got dark cool tools. That'll be good in case anything. I have heavy armor. I don't remember if there are other types of armor I could get. There are other orc armors, I think.
Yes,
but
there are other orc armors.
Yeah, I want to see if I can get some armor. A bit better.
Right. You might, well, there might be a fixed up suit of mega armor from if Bark got punched out of his last set, you might be able to take that off of him.
Ooh. Yeah. I'll go ask.
So go ahead and roll me a requisition test. Roll me your influence.
Okay. And hang on. I think I had. I calculate influence using strength instead of fellowship.
That's true. That sounds about right. That tracks.
But I think I already put that. Yeah, because influence is that
The
minus
stat
one.
-1, yeah.
Yeah. So it'd be 2 for me because my strength is 3. Okay. How do I roll this? There. Oh no. I'm not
So
big enough.
You're not quite big enough to get your own mega armor right now, unless you wanted to fight. Bark for it.
Ooh. I haven't been as many fights as I usually do. So I will try that. Just to see.
Of course, Bark is a knob and tends to be is one of the bigger and tougher orcs.
I'll try.
Right?
Yeah. Here we go. We'll find out. Blair, if I die in this fight, take Aristarchus and run.
That would have been my plan.
Okay.
May still be my plan if you will.
Advice that didn't need to be given.
So you stomp around and call out Bark Goth Gob. Bark! Who's shouting for me? You hear a loud, angry voice call back.
Me, Tina.
And you hear the thump, thump, thump of a massive orc. The only orc in the tribe who is about as big as Gorgrod the Big. Begins to stomp their way out from around a corner as you see them dressed in the mega armor that you want to take off of them.
Yeah.
With big power claw and the shooter in the other hand. Tina, you little runt, what you want?
I want how many places are there to hide around here? Just in case I might need to.
There's a couple of different corners you could probably dive into.
Excellent. Can I do that and shout at him from one of those?
From behind a scrap pile?
Yes.
Roll me a stealth check.
It's called strategy. 2 with the wrath die.
So you hide well behind a stack of stuff. Unfortunately, You're pretty certain the stuff is explosive, so if anything happens to it, it might go up with you.
Cool. All right.
Amazing.
You got mega armor that you don't really need because you have other armor, and I need armor when we go and fight big things so that all of us can fight really big stuff.
You's too puny for mega armor. Why you think you can handle it?
Because... And is he getting closer to the pile of stuff where I am hidden?
Sort of stomping around in circles looking for you as you shout.
Okay, I want to lure him closer to this. My plan is to get him over here and then to sort of vault myself away from it and set this explosion off.
Okay.
I don't think it's a good idea, but it's my idea.
Roll me cunning.
Okay. Whew. Here we go. That's 1.
Oh, hang on. He's got a awareness roll. Hang on.
Yeah. Oh.
You did better.
But no.
He sort of looks around. But to be fair, he's a knob and he knows exactly what he's doing. So he sort of looks around, spots your hat. There you are! Starts to stomp over to where you're hiding.
Okay.
You hear the metal the pistons of the mega armor whining and whirring as he rushes his way over to you.
Right.
Okay. I am going to attempt to shoot him.
All right. Roll me a shooting attack.
Okay. Three with the raft die. I'm probably going to explode myself. It's okay.
3 is his defense, but you do suffer a complication.
Yes.
Which would normally be your weapon would either jam or run out of run out of ammo.
Okay. Yeah, if I have an option between those two, I'd go with jam, probably. I haven't fired it in a while. Maybe it's like it's got gunked up from whatever fuel is in here. It's like congealed.
You can go ahead and roll the damage on your burner.
Okay.
Are you're using it in the flamethrowing form?
Yes. 2 damage.
12 damage. And
12.
does it have any the flamethrower form doesn't have any AP?
No, it does not.
But it does inflict on fire.
Yes.
So let me just real quick. Yeah. So yeah, it only does 1 wound to Bark in this space, but it does light him on fire. As you burn the flamer down at him, and he just sort of thunders through it and just swings the power claw at you.
That's fair.
Actually, he's using a big chopper in this instant rather than power claw. Weapon skill. That's a 6 to hit you.
Yeah, I think that does. Because what is he rolling against?
Your defense.
Defense. Hang on. Where is that on here? Yeah, 2.
This is gonna hurt. Fortunately, resilience is 8, so
yeah.
That will be 11. Unless I actually need to roll this. Hang on. That will be yeah. So that'll be 15 damages.
Okay.
Reduced by 8.
All right.
Which would then leave you with 7. Which
7.
would be more wounds than you currently have. Would you like to soak that?
7. Yeah, I would.
Go ahead and roll me your determination.
Does my armor value do anything on that, by the way?
It adds to your resilience.
Is that part of the 8? Okay.
Yeah, part of the 8.
Yeah.
You have 4 baseline and 4 from your armor.
Gotcha. All right. It's been a while since I did combat, and I didn't look at this before. Where's shock? Recover shock.
Roll me determination.
5. Oh, determination?
Yeah.
Sorry. Let me do that again. Determination 3.
So you turn 3 of that damage 3 of those wounds into shock.
Excellent.
You take 3 shock, but instead of taking 7 wounds, you take 4 wounds.
4 wounds. Okay, I got 1 left and 4 shock, right?
Would Aristarchus or Blair like to join in on this?
Does that max? Because my max shock is 3.
Yeah, so you are exhausted when your shock is maxed out.
Okay, cool.
Blair will join in on this.
All right, Blair, what would you like to do?
Hold on a sec. Okay, where is this person in relation to where I am?
So as you've sort of like stood off to the side and Tina has sort of run around the scrap pile, like shouting at this massive orc, his back is to you right now as he's sort of like stomping over and trying to swing a massive axe at Tina. And has cut a pretty good clip with it to very severely injure Tina on his first swing.
Okay. First, she will turn to Aristarchus and say, "If I tell you to run, run."
All right.
And then she is going to shoot him from behind with her autogun.
Your autogun or your new gun?
Oh, I got a new gun. I did not add the new gun. Shoot.
Because
Do you remember what the new gun was that I got?
you have a long las, and a
Okay.
chainsword, and carapace armor now.
Right. I didn't add that stuff. Sorry, last week was crazy.
Yeah, understandably. So if you want to go ahead and just roll your ballistic skill with your long las. So go ahead and roll ballistic skill, and I'll give you the stats on the long las as well.
Okay. Sorry about that.
No worries. That'll unfortunately be a miss. Unless you want to use a wrath to re-roll that.
Yes, I would like to do that.
So you hit the re-roll button.
Where, there it is.
That's better.
Much better.
That'll definitely hit him. The long las has the sniper 1 trait. Would you have taken the time to aim first, I'm assuming?
Yes.
Roll me an extra die real quick. Just roll another d6.
Okay. 5.
Good. So would you like to shift that exalted icon for more damage?
Yes, please.
Okay. Because you took aim, you get a +1 bonus die to the attack, and you also get additional extra damage equal to the weapon's sniper rating, which is 1. So you're going to roll me a total of 3d6 to determine how much extra damage you add.
13.
So that's 2 icons and an exalted icon. So that's 4 more damage.
Nice.
The long las normally does 10 damage, so now it's doing 14.
Hell yeah.
And it has an AP of... yeah, no, it doesn't have any AP, so it doesn't go through his armor, but it does punch more damage through, which will get through his armor. He's only got 11 armor, so he just takes 3 more wounds. And he sort of turns around and sees you now as that sniper shot just clangs into his shoulder and punches through the armor a bit. I see you've brought friends around. That's fine, I'll crump them all.
You can try.
Aristarchus, are you doing anything?
Can he try and go patch up Tina?
Sure, if you want.
I assume that's a Medicae roll.
Roll me a heal test.
I'm spend a wrath to reroll. It's not going to get rid of the complication, but that's a total of 9.
So your DN, you got your Medicae test. Your DN was 4, I believe, because it's an alien.
Mm-hmm.
And every shifted exalted icon will restore an additional wound. So you'll restore 1 wound baseline.
Okay.
Right.
Everything that you can shift to still stay at 4 successes, which I think is both.
I can shift both of those 2 exalted ones, I think, right?
Yeah. So you can shift both of those to restore 3
Right.
wounds.
You restore 3 wounds to Tina.
Awesome. Thank
And
you.
then he'll swing down. What does a galvanic rifle even look like?
So a galvanic rifle is a honestly, if you look at page 217 in the core book, at the las weapons table, ironically, the weapon underneath the las weapons table is actually a galvanic rifle.
Oh, okay.
It's this like ornate looking, very baroque looking, almost like a flintlock made out of like complicated brass and metal.
Gotcha. Okay.
And it has this sort of power battery underneath it, and this like glowing like it almost like sparks a little bit as you prepare to fire it.
Fantastic. He'll just swing that out. He's holding it the correct direction. I will give him that much. And just attempts to look not threatening, but weird and confusing. Hopefully, because he does not think he can intimidate this individual at all.
It looks like if you took like a World War I M1 Garand and just sci-fi'd it up to hell.
Right. Okay. Fantastic.
To the top of the round, that brings you to Tina again. What are you doing, Tina?
Okay.
You're injured.
Yeah, I am.
That normally that makes the difficulty number of all of your tests one higher, but also you have weapons with the wah trait,
Okay.
which is you gain a +1 bonus die to all of your attacks with your weapon, with a wah weapon, because you're an orc. And also, if you're wounded, you deal an extra damage die. You get an extra ED to all of your attacks with wah weapons.
Ooh, okay. So damage bonus die is +1 right now. Cool.
I like to think that Remy's just out on a street corner smoking, going, nah, this is about as much time as I think it would take. I don't think anything.
All right, and you said, okay, so I'm gonna take out my chopper.
Use that big chopper.
Yeah, that seems like a good idea.
So your attack bonus die is 1,
Okay.
and your damage bonus die is 1 as well because you're wounded right now.
Excellent. All right.
Your attack bonus die is always going to be 1 because you're an orc. And
Okay.
It's a wah weapon.
Let me just add that on here then for all of them. All righty. I am going to jump out at him and swing.
Your Burna is not a wah weapon, but your big choppa is.
Okay.
So your Burna wouldn't get that, but your...
Gotcha. All right. Here we go. Oh, and I also have... Does that automatically do it in here? We'll find out. Because it gets 5 extra damage dice.
That'll be when you roll damage, yeah.
Okay. So 2.
You want to spend a wrath to re-roll those? Because that
Let me do it. There we go.
You go. That definitely hits. You can't shift anything. You don't have any 6s, but you can go ahead and roll damage.
Alrighty. Let's see. So I have. Do I have to? If
hit the red button.
Yeah. If I have 5 in ED, does it automatically add it in, or do I need to add those?
It'll already do that. It'll do that automatically.
Okay. Awesome.
There you go.
12.
12 damage with an AP of 1, which means you'll do 2 more wounds to him.
Sweet.
Which makes him pretty wounded too. He's going to turn around and fire his shooter at Blair because Blair was the one who did the most to him in the most recent encounter. And will miss horrifically because I'm pretty certain Blair's defense is higher than 1.
It's because she's so small. He's not used to aiming at something that's small.
He sort of turns and the shooter just spits bullets and they all just sort of fly in wide directions around your shoulders, Blair.
I was expecting a little more from you.
Blair and Aristarchus, who would like to go next?
I'll let Blair go.
All right, Blair will go. She'll go ahead and try to shoot him again.
Aim and fire with the long last. So add an extra attack. So you add a bonus die to your attack roll for aiming.
Okay. Am I just rolling ballistic skill again?
Yeah, hang on one moment. Let me.
I'm sorry, but it's not.
No worries. We'll get your weapon put together after the game. Real quick, because you're going to be taking the aim action, which I believe will help you out a little bit. So actually, go ahead and roll ballistic skill with a +2 bonus to your die test.
Okay, 4.
So that will definitely hit. Yep. Hang on a minute. Ballistic skill 4 + 2 should be 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It didn't add your bonus die. Hang on.
Oh.
Roll me 2 d6s.
Okay.
All right. Would you like to shift both of those exalted dice into damage?
Yes.
All right. So, roll me. Long last has +1 base and plus another 1 for aiming, +2 more. So roll me 4 d6. to determine your extra damage. Would you like to spend a wrath to re-roll those 3?
Yes, please.
You're under wrath. Roll 3d6. There you go.
Much better.
Hot damn.
All right, so 3 icons and an exalted icon. That's 5 extra damage on top of this. So the long last is now doing 15 damage to his 11 resilience. So it's going to be 4 more damage. How do you want to do this?
Yeah.
She was aiming for his head, so I think just blowing his head off.
Yeah. So this orc turned and it like unloaded this gun at you, and then it started to charge you with this big axe in its hand. It looks like it's as big as you and probably cut you in half if it hit. And you just sort of level the sniper rifle in your arms and just pull the trigger, and this burning laser just drills into his head and just digs a crater into his face, and he just mid-charge just and grinds to a halt in front of you.
That was a little disappointing.
Whoa. Okay. I'm gonna scramble over and just start peeling this armor off.
Yeah, you hear there's a few orcs on the outskirts who are watching this fight who go like, "Yeah, go Tina!" as you finish off Bark Goff Gob and begin to take his armor for yourself.
Sorry, did we just murder someone?
It would appear so, yes.
Yeah, Crumpin.
That generally means we need to now run the fuck away very quickly, yes?
As you look around, everyone seems to be in a celebratory mood.
Nah.
They seem fun.
Most of the other orcs, like there's a couple that sort of like come up to Tina and give her like claps on the shoulder, like, "Yeah, good fight."
Thanks. Yeah, I'm gonna.
Y'all are very strange.
I'm gonna clap Blair on the back, probably slightly too hard, but you did it.
fall forward a little. Thank you.
Thanks. That's real good. Begin peeling stuff off, putting it on.
You have
slowly,
acquired,
in case
you have acquired as Tina. As Tina starts to strip it off, you hear the thumping of big footfalls as a large, not quite as large as Gorgrod or Bark, but decked in metal with like a big welding mask up on his face and like pylons of Tesla coils on his shoulders. Orc steps out and starts clapping. "Good work, Tina. I see you've done a good job in this fight. Took down old Bark. The big zogging idiot. Zogwit had it coming. All right.
Arm pokes out with a thumbs up.
Let's get you fitted into that armor. It's yours now." And several Gretchen sort of swarm out around him as he steps forward and pulls out a wrench and gets to work on bolting you into this armor.
Sweet.
There's several adjustments to be made. There's some sparks flying as things have to be welded. Has to be welded a little bit to sort of shorten the dimensions. And you are put into a new suit of mega armor as Tina broadens by about 2 feet by a sheer amount of metal being slapped onto her.
Ooh.
Also gains a good 6 inches of height from the sheer size of the metal armor as well.
This is exciting.
You have acquired mega armor and can go ahead and apply that.
All right.
Among many other things, aside from having a lot of armor value, a whopping 7 to your armor value instead of 4.
Holy shit.
It has a number of traits. It has the standard "here we go" trait that your heavy armor had, which I will remind you. An orc wearing armor with this trait ignores the bulk and cumbersome traits when you're wounded. It also has cumbersome, so when you're not wounded, you'll be suffering from that. Which is you cannot run or sprint in cumbersome armor. It's just heavy. But when you're
Okay.
injured, you ignore that and just start running anyway.
Yep.
And then it also is powered, which means that while you're wearing it, your strength is increased by the powered rating, which in this case, for Mega Armor, is 4.
Holy fuck.
So
No
I
wonder
just
this
add
guy was murdering us.
4 on my strength.
Yeah, so
Do I
in your character sheet, there's
Yeah.
on the field for strength, there
Yeah.
is an adjustment
Yeah.
column. Put 4 into the adjustment.
Whew. Okay. Sheesh. Alrighty then.
So yeah, your new strength is 7 while you are wearing that armor.
Cool. Does that mean my influence goes up as well?
Yes, in fact, you're wearing the big armor that makes you more intimidating.
All
So
right.
your influence is now, while you're wearing that armor, your influence is 6.
It was 2 before. It's tripled. I'm fine. This is the coolest thing that's ever happened to Gina.
And you can hear some of the orcs as sort of chanting as you hear it, Tina, 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 as she gets bolted into some of the biggest and heaviest armor she's ever worn.
Excellent.
Oh, speaking of, let's get this thing fixed into you. This particular mega armor also has an integrated big shooter.
Just
Cool.
like stuck to the outside of one of the arms, kind of.
Yeah, the left arm has a big shooter mounted to the back of the wrist.
Fuck yeah. It's dope as hell.
If you thought it was hard to get her in places beforehand.
Oh yeah, no, she's getting physically bolted into the least subtle piece of equipment that probably exists on Farah Tenebris. And then she's supposed to go to Caesar's palace.
Ready.
You know, Tina,
Uh-huh.
this is a very impressive kit that you've just assembled. You honestly might not need the second hat.
He's right.
Yeah, I think you're right.
You look good.
Thanks. She smiles. I don't know if you can see it inside the armor, but she's smiling.
Oh, the armor includes one of those big iron gobs. So from the neck of the armor, there is this big plate of like curved metal that joins in front of your lower jaw and is like spiked up across the surface of it.
Well,
So you can kind of see the smile, just barely over the iron gob.
Right? Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's mostly the cheekbones rising.
And so you guys gonna start making your way out?
Yep.
Making away.
Come on, minion.
Right, boss. On my way.
Excellent. And head back up.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So you start.
Where Remy and Laurel have probably drunk their way through most of a bar at this point.
Start making your way up. So as you begin to progress back up and begin to meet up and get ready to head to the party, that's where we're going to go ahead and take our break.
Awesome. When we take our break, you take your break. So get up, stretch your legs, walk around, all that sort of thing. If you're watching this live, and if you're watching on YouTube, go hydrate, drink some water. You probably haven't done that recently enough. And we'll be back.
We're back.
That's
That's it. We're
That's
just
it.
back.
Nope, we're just back. That's all you need to know.
I love it. But the group of you reconvene, having gone about your business and prepared. Blair, you have acquired some fancy new outfit to go to a fancy new dinner. What does your new outfit look like, Blair?
She would probably go get a dress, which she usually never wears. But yeah. I'm thinking some sort of a nice, like, black dress with some sort of nice trim to it.
Mm. And definitely easy enough to find, especially in the Imperium. Black is the easiest color to wear.
It hides the bloodstains.
Yes, it does.
Makes sense.
But the group of you reconvene, and those of you who did not journey down into the orc camp with Tina, find Tina to be significantly bulkier in armor and weaponry when she returns.
Well, we're back.
I mean, it's not exactly going to make things more awkward because there is a certain ceiling level. for
Tina,
that.
Notice anything different?
No, nothing at all.
She cut her hair.
got a haircut.
Oh,
Just the one.
Yes.
I only have the one.
Fair enough.
Also, Tina, that is what is called sarcasm amongst the humans.
Oh.
You pretend something's one way in order to indicate that you are very clearly aware it is a different way.
Got it. Okay.
Remy does know you got a significant upgrade.
Correct.
And Remy is very impressed for whatever value of impressed Remy is capable of having.
Remy loves it.
Forgive me if I'm speaking out of turn for you, Remy, but
You know what? You're good.
Thanks, Remy.
It's what I'm here for. I am moral support.
Have the other two already switched into their attire?
Blair has, yeah.
Does Aristarchus have any other attire he intends to wear?
no. Aristarchus is a representative of the Adeptus Mechanicus and therefore is always in dress uniform.
Like, take out hat, put hat on. I'm ready.
Completes the outfit.
Splashy color.
Laura will look Blair up and down.
Blair's probably taking her hair down at this point.
Have we seen Blair with her hair down before?
It's very long.
Yep.
I think the plunge in the neckline needs to be deeper. But other than that, it's an acceptable cut.
I wasn't sure if it would be appropriate.
Blair, look
Aristarchus
around.
pulls out his data slate and goes to cross-reference appropriate attire, Eldari culture, and try and find to see if there's any consensus on that.
There's not a lot of info on Eldari casual wear
Right?
or even formal wear, because usually when the Eldari encounter humans, it's in armor.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Blair,
So there's not just a big heading underneath that says "slutted up."
look around at everybody who's not already affiliated with where we're going. You could be wearing literally anything and you would be above average for the group. You could be wearing nothing and you'd be above average for the group.
Who are you talking to?
You.
Okay, wasn't sure. Thank you, I think. That was a compliment.
I would definitely say above average.
Thank you. She gets a little flustered.
All right. Morel, you want to explain what the protocol is going to be here for everybody else?
Well, Master Tandris is Shawnee, how ceremonious is my patron?
Hardly at all. Tandris is a military vet. He is a lord by virtue of his history, not by virtue of his birth. He is from a noble house. The house existed before him, but he comes from a long line of military campaigners. He is someone who is he's not there for the dress and the show. He is there for practicality and for effectiveness. He honestly does not stand much on ceremony.
There will not be much pomp and circumstance. We will probably be announced, and there will be idle chit-chat while we wait for Master Tandris to enter the area with us. Other than that, primarily keep your hands to yourself. She will just side-eye at Tina.
Who just literally claps their hands over their shoulders.
And then I would also say, just a bit of fair warning. Lord Tandris is not a lord by virtue of birth. He clawed his way to the top. So let that inform your decision of the man.
Much better, in my opinion.
Agreed. So if you will follow me, I will show you the way. And she will begin leading them to House Tandris.
Yeah, like House Tandris, as far as you know, Laurel, House Tandris existed as a noble house long before Lord Malton Tandris took it over. It was not one of the Big Ten in any regard. It was just an house, probably in the upper mid-hive. And it was Lord Malton's military experience and his campaigning and his actions for the planet and for Ultramar, the greater region around in the galaxy, that put House Tandris where it is today. And you know that Malton Tandris is over 200 years old.
Which obviously is not natural for most humans.
No. Typically speaking, humans... So the technology has advanced to the point that humans can dramatically extend their lifespans with things called rejuvenate treatments, which basically reverses the aging process. After a while, it starts to look like a Botox treatment, where it starts to look less and less natural. But rejuvenate treatments can extend a human's life theoretically indefinitely, outside of weird complications going on. But it's a very expensive and privileged procedure to undergo. Typically, only important people actually get rejuvenate treatments.
Interesting. Okay.
Which is typically, like, you would expect people in high-ranking noble houses, planetary governors, people in high political statuses to have rejuvenate that would allow them to live for however many 100 years.
I will say that Master Tandris is rather long-lived, of course, not anywhere near as long as one such as I or any of my other kin. But he has seen his hefty share of not only battles, but this world and others.
All right.
So she will lead them to the main entrance and then through to the upper house. I assume there's protocol for her to let them know.
Yeah. And you basically announce yourself to a servant as you enter that you are arriving for the dinner. And
it had been pre-established that like Tina is known to be in our company and will be coming along and that sort of thing, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
The servants of the house, as you arrive, House Tandris is in the upper hive. Everything is built to ostentation. Everything is built to look grandiose. There's lots of flowing colors and giant architecture, overwrought statues, lots of gold filigree, lots of showing off of incredible wealth in a futuristic society. House Tandris looks like an iron block standing out against it. It is very much understated in design. It's built big and impressive, but it's practical. It where everything else is like gilded and painted various colors, it is gunmetal gray. And it is like it has the faintest hints of color, and it's usually crimson. As just an outliner of the house colors. Everything else is built to practicality. It looks like a fortress more than a house. As you look around, you can see like narrow angles for firing lanes. You can see places where fortifications can be deployed. You can see this place is designed to be able to withstand a physical siege more than it is designed to show off. You can see that there are a variety of gun servitors that sort of patrol the outer walls. And as you enter the main hall, there's like a slight bit more ostentation, but it still carries that same sort of practical dourness to it that that the exterior sort of presents. There's a little bit more. There's a red carpet as opposed to just like some red curtains hanging in places. There's like a couple of small statues, busts of Lord Tandris in places, but the ostentation that you're seeing here, it almost looks like someone had to. The ostentation that is here almost feels like a surrender or a compromise rather than something someone wanted to be there. It's almost like, okay, I guess technically speaking, I do have to fit the idea of a lord in some respect, so there should be some kind of showing off, but I don't like it. It's sort of the feeling you get from this place.
Sounds like someone with something to hide to me.
Well, that was when Blair turned around and shot the bastard right through his eyeball, which, considering that based on what I've been able to ascertain on our entrance, the chances of survival for the three of us would have been somewhere around 3,730 to 1. I think we did pretty well.
And what did we learn about odds today?
They're pointless. Believe in yourself. Blair did great.
They don't matter if you have a gun. If you have a big enough gun.
Yeah.
I think this conversation has moved beyond my area of expertise, so I'm just going to let the rest of you carry on.
Oh no, I'm more on your side. I just wanted to. I just wanted to throw that out there and see what people would say because I was curious.
Said I'm really glad I went.
So after a while, a servant shows you into a dining room, and you are walked in and set to a long dining room table. This dining room table probably has enough seats for a good 50, 60 people at it. and the air feels dramatically empty because there are exactly U6 plus 2. As the group of you are shown to seats at the far end of the table, Lord Malton Tandris sits. Lord Malton Tandris is a man who looks to be like probably later middle age, although you have been told that he is seen a lot longer than that. He is somewhat heavier set in his age. Still stocky. Looks like he probably has a good deal of muscle, although it's been softened just a bit by living a more sedentary life, having returned from campaigns. He is dressed in what looks to be military brocade. A lot of it is there are symbols of rank, like campaign markers, some sturdy leather boots, and a like a button down dress shirt. It looks like a long trench jacket is laid over the back of his chair, and an officer's cap is set on the table next to him. His beard is well kept but full. It hides most of his chin, and his hair is about neck length. It is black primarily, although getting a bit salt and pepper on the center of the beard and on the sides of the head. His expression is traditionally dour. He doesn't seem to betray a lot of himself via his face, which is probably a valuable asset in someone who has lived as long as he has. He looks at the seating of everyone. His eyes are this sort of like bright green coloration. He looks at the seating arrangements of everyone, and then this is going to be completely useless, he says, as he sort of stands up from his seat, grabs his jacket off the back of the chair and his hat, walks over to sit next to the group of you, tosses his hat over a nearby chair, sits down in it, and looks across the group of you. And the other person sitting with you is Jordan Tendris, the individual that some of you have met previously, who also walks in and sits down next to the group of you. Our meals will be out here shortly, the Lord says as he looks over the group of you. In the meantime, I suppose it is best that I introduce myself to those of you who are not familiar. I am Lord Malton Tandris, the head of House Tandris, and the benefactor of your friend, the rogue trader's envoy, in this planet, and the patron of your Eldari companion.
Pleasure.
Well, I'm Aristarchus Dactyl of the Adeptus Mechanicus. Obviously, you know our envoy, Madame Sarasotinos. This is Remy Mara and Ms. Blair Hart, our expert consultants from the Underhive, and Tina, who needs no introduction.
Hello.
Certainly not. It is an interesting gathering of companions you brought together. And there's
It is.
Lord Malton's portrait is in the Slack for you.
That would be the nicest way to put it, my lord.
So what can we do for you, Lord?
I think at this juncture, it's more a matter of what I can do for you. Insofar as I understand that your investigation has uncovered an unfortunate identity among the ranks of the agents of the enemy that currently hide within our hive city.
It's fair to say.
as I can only feel that the current situation in which you find yourselves exists partly as a blame for my hubris and ineptitude, I felt it only correct that I inform you of the history that led to this situation.
All right. Listening.
As you have become aware, the agent of your enemy has been revealed to be Janaea Tandris, my own daughter. Not many in this hive city know that I have children, let alone 2 of them, he says, indicating to Jordan sitting across from him. And that is a result of a sordid and painful history.
I want an equivalent of insight check, Jordan. Which I guess would be insight.
Yeah, I think there either is an insight
there is
or
an
it's awareness.
insight, yes.
Yeah, roll me insight.
Bah! Wait,
You don't have any ranks in it?
I do. Oh, no, wait. Yes, I do. I have ranks and a lot more than that, so I'm not sure. Unless I clicked the wrong thing. Let me see.
No, it looks like he
Oh,
clicked
that's
insight.
Oh, did you hit the black button, the assist button, rather than the roll button?
I might have. Let's see.
No,
Nope. That's the
weird.
roll button.
Hang on, let me adjust things real quick. That's just adjust it back up. Roll. Weird. Try again.
Right, let me try again.
There it goes.
There we go.
Wait, what? Now it's missing the one from your rank. What is going on?
I don't know, but I'm just gonna roll another d6.
Yeah, roll another d6.
There you go.
Nice.
So 5 icons total.
Correct.
Oh,
actually, hold on just a second.
Right.
Just for fun.
You have a thing.
I have a thing. I just have to find the thing because
Probably in powers.
yes. Let me expand it because a single. There we go. I gain rank, assuming deductive could apply here. I gain rank bonus dice to any test. Or no, wait. Oh, I have. Damn it! I need to read the whole thing. That might help. User's talent make an intelligence skill based test. Which is what insight is. To recall or notice something about a target. If I pass the test, then I gain rank bonus dice to any test made against that target that utilizes the information. So nothing to this, just
yeah. And if you make use of what you learn, then you gain an extra bonus dice equal to your rank.
Correct.
Yep.
So I got 5.
So the target number was 2. Would you like to shift that one exalted icon for something?
Sure. I will shift that for coolness. I don't.
So your options again are: you can gain a glory if you want to gain a glory. You can improve the quality.
Quality for sure.
Information. So if you want to improve quality, I will give you slightly more detailed information of what I'm going to give you, or if you choose to gain information, you can ask me a related question, and I will answer that.
You know what? I will do gain information.
All right. What is your question?
Do I get to hear what I know first before I ask the question?
Yes. So what you gather off of this is that with that level of success, Jordan is sort of neutral, but he is listening as much as you are. Like that, you get the sense that even he doesn't know the full story here,
Okay.
and is hoping to learn a bit more of what's been going on himself. There is a sense of expectation of I want to know what's happened
Mm-hmm.
coming from Jordan.
Okay. Is there anything based on his demeanor or the like that would give an indication on how he feels about either his dad or his sister?
You get the sense, based on how he's sort of leaning into this conversation, that he cares very much, both about his father and about his sister.
Okay.
You do not get the sense that it is a spiteful or hateful or even honestly difficult relationship. You get
Okay.
the sense of someone who trusts their father but knows that they have not told them everything and wants to know everything.
Got it. All right. Cool.
And Lord Tandris continues. I have led this house through military campaigns and through the dangers of this galaxy for over 200 years. And it is only in the recent decades of my life that I had found time to even begin to think of legacy, of what might come after my death. My wife and I had spent some time trying for children, only to be blessed with twins. But every blessing must also come with a curse, it seems. The two of them were born with the innate talent of the psyker, both of them, he says, nodding at Jordan. And while such a thing is considered a danger among the greater Imperium, it would have no impact on how much either of us cared for our children. But how much we cared matters little in the grand scope of the Imperium's machinations. The black ships would eventually come, seeking to claim their tithe of psychers for the Imperium. And the strings that we could pull could only spare one. We kept Janaea away from the black ships, and Jordan was taken to Terra, where he was assessed, judged, trained, and assigned as a combat psyker to the Astra Militarum. I could not be more proud of my son, but I feel that my drive to protect my daughter may have damned her in turn. He sort of takes a breath as food is brought out, and plates of exquisite meat, vegetables, fruits, wine, and non-alcoholic drinks are laid out for everyone. He, as soon as the drink is placed in front of him, grabs it and sculls it and sets it down. And a servant, realizing that, immediately, like, sort of nervously wanders off to go get more wine and refills his drink. And just sets the decanter on the table for him.
Aristarchus is chemically analyzing his food before eating it. Because these substances are not things he regularly encounters.
Yep.
Anyone watching, I forget my character's name again, Blair. would notice that her posture and demeanor have changed, and her table manners are perfect.
So, how did she end up? I mean, kind of said in a general backgroundy sense, but how did she end up associated with Heiko?
Janaea's separation from her brother was only the first of several tragedies that would befall her.
Okay.
They had scarcely been apart a single moment in their lives until the black ships came, and her brother was unceremoniously taken from her, as far as any of us knew, never to be seen again.
Right.
Many of the psychers taken by the black ships never returned.
Okay.
That by itself was a grief no child should have to bear, the separation of one's twin brother. We did our best to treat her well, to give her what she needed to live her life. But we were perhaps not the best equipped to do so ourselves. After a while, we arranged a betrothal relationship for her with a child of the planetary governor's house, one of his daughters, who the two had seemed to have a strong relationship with each other. And it was, though it was in many respects a political arrangement, the marriage between our two houses helping to improve our relationship with the governor's family. I had only approved such a political marriage because it seemed that the two of them were genuinely of a kind. They spent much time together. They laughed, enjoyed life, went to theaters, enjoyed all that the Hive City could offer them. And I gave my full blessing for her to enjoy this relationship that we had been able to assist her in finding. And that lasted until her would-be bride was assassinated.
By?
I have yet to be able to uncover the exact nature of the attack, but the motivation behind the assailants seemed to be a rebel element seeking to overthrow the Hive City's government and strike a blow against the planetary governor.
Okay.
Go on.
Oh, no. I just, okay.
The combined grief of losing first her brother and then what would seem to have been the first love of her life was something that she could not bear easily. And she cut herself off from her ability to care or to grow attached to people, which would lead to the third tragedy of her story. The destructive habits that she had picked up, drinking, growing violent at times, seeking comfort in obscura or other illicit substances, became more and more public knowledge. The noble families were pushing for something to be done. And I in my failure to protect my own family, made the worst decision a father can ever make, and allowed myself to be convinced that sending her away from the house would do good for her.
Mm-hmm.
It was the equivalent of disowning her, and I left her on the streets. I do not know where she went when she left my house, but to find her still here on this world, and now in the hands of a heretic and an iconoclast, is a shame that I can never recover from.
How long ago was this?
It has been 5, 10 years since she left.
So, and to clarify, just to make sure I've got all this right, the assassination happened here. You weren't elsewhere.
No, it was on this planet.
Okay.
It was at a gala for the planetary governor's family
When was this exactly?
15 years ago.
Okay. Okay. So, and you cut her off and tossed her out. You didn't have anybody follow her. You didn't keep any quiet tabs on her. Unofficial hire. Check in on things.
I did attempt to do so, but every agent that I sent to keep an eye on my daughter stopped reporting after a while.
Stopped reporting or were dealt with.
In this world, one is equivalent to the
Same
other.
thing. Do you have any notion what she know if there's anything that she knows about your house as it currently is?
Would you care to elaborate that question?
I mean, in a general sense, does she know the current goings ons of your house as far as you could be aware? Any more specific sense, new developments, people coming back from the dead, that kind of thing.
It's unlikely. The news that Jordan has returned is unlikely to spread quickly. He is military, and beyond being military, is a psyker.
Mm-hmm.
Military individuals arriving at my house are fairly regular, and psychers tend to be people that individuals stay away from at the best of times.
Right.
Has she attempted to make any contact with you or your household since
None.
this occurred?
Much as I would wish otherwise.
Does anybody outside of the house know anything about her, really? Or what do people outside the house know?
Not much. After both of my children were disappeared and my wife had passed away, it quickly became de facto information that I never had children, essentially. When both of them were gone and I had no one left to sire an heir, I became the lone lord of House Tandris. The political machinations made it quick to forget that my children ever existed.
Not everybody forgot, though. You know that, right?
Of course not. The planetary governor's house likely still holds some information about her past escapades with their daughter.
Want to reclaim her?
I would love to. But at the moment, she is allied with a heretic and an enemy of the Imperium. That is a difficult situation to interact with, even if she wanted to come home. And at this point, I'm
Nobody's
not sure she
perfect.
does.
Forgive me, my lord, for speaking out of turn. But I do believe this is when you need to decide whether you want family ties or decorum to matter more to you.
That's not an easy thing to choose between when your decorum is the only thing that keeps you from being a target, and your family ties mean more to you than even your life.
You don't necessarily have to choose one or the other.
Without abandoning one, you can prioritize the other.
That's the question that it comes down to, actually, yes. You don't have to, but ultimately, if it comes down to a situation where you have to pick one or the other.
So I had Aristarchus make a Medicae test because that's the only thing I can think of where psychology might come in in terms of stuff like that. Having heard this story, the indication is that ever since he initially left, she has not seen Jordan Tandris.
That's where
who
Remy's
is suddenly
going.
back on planet.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. So
Correct.
Aristarchus will just lean forward. If I can speak as a member of the Medicae and the Ordo Biologus, the initial trauma that this girl suffered seems to have been the departure of a sibling who, against all odds, even in the Imperium, is back on planet and
Correct.
therefore may speak to the root trauma that caused her shift in behavior that has led to this regrettable sequence of events.
Correct.
So there is a chance at recovery here, potentially, Your Lordship, if we can allow her to resolve that initial trauma by reconnecting with her twin.
Yes, you are correct.
Lorwell will look to Jordan. You've been surprisingly quiet in all this. What are your thoughts about meeting back with your sister?
He smiles
I'm
for the
gonna
first.
guess pretty good.
He sort of smirks amusedly for the first time you've ever seen his face have an expression.
Is it a smile of happiness or a twisted smile?
It's a smile that looks like you just asked me the most ridiculous question in the world and I can't help but laugh at it.
Yep.
It's the like that was hilariously ironic kind of smile.
I said, I'm gonna guess pretty good is how you feel about it.
I would like nothing more than to see my sister again. Thinking about meeting her again was one of the only things that allowed me to surmount the tests of the Scholastia Psychana and prove myself worthy of not being fed to the Golden Throne. I have fought my entire life for the opportunity to see her again.
So that brings us back, Lord, to if it comes down to a question of discretion versus family.
If the decision must be made, I would sacrifice anything to see my daughter return to her family.
Even potentially the good of the rest of your house, which includes your son.
He sort of inhales for a second, looks over at Jordan.
I'm only asking because these are the hard questions you've got to figure out.
You are right, of course. If my daughter is truly lost irrecoverably to the grip of the archenemy, then it is a mercy to put her out of her misery. But if there is even a chance that she be recovered safely and allowed to return, I would ask that you take it.
All right.
I am, of course, a noble and a man who runs a house, and these affairs are not entirely your own. And I cannot begrudge you should you decide it not worth it. But you would, of course, have the gratitude of myself and my house, should you choose to bring her back to us.
We seem to be talking about things one way or another. What if there was a way to save her, but she didn't wish to return?
Very what?
What if there were a way to save her, but she did not wish to return here?
Saved but not here.
Yes.
It's a fair question.
We must all make our own decisions. If she would return from the brink but does not want to see her family again, I could not begrudge her that. We have done much to hurt her.
Okay.
Shawnee, because it's been a while. Am I misremembering? I feel like somebody had somebody knew, saw where she was in our group.
Yes.
Yes. Me.
Yeah, Remy had a very close encounter with her.
Yes. I don't mean to sound. When she left, did she leave anything here? Did is there anything still here
Of
of
hers?
hers?
Yes, a few.
Is this one of those situations where her room is as it used to be and that sort of thing? Or
Really, yes, it has hardly been touched since she left.
I'd like to see the room if you don't mind.
Of course.
And any I would assume that as the daughter of the head of the house, she had attendants, things like that.
She did. Most of them retired after she left.
Where can we find them?
They have modest homes in the mid-hive, places where they can live comfortably.
That
Was she-
information would be useful.
Was there perhaps one or two of them that she was particularly close to?
Yeah.
She had a bodyguard, one of her regular guards, whenever she had to go anywhere that was more dangerous. I would need to find her information again to see where you could find her. But I will look into it. and get you that information.
Thank you.
Any information, anything at all that would be about her, particularly towards that point in the final months or whatever before she left, would potentially be useful. We need to figure out where she would have gone from there.
I will gather everything I can find.
Was
And
there
when we finish speaking and eating here, I will guide you to her room myself.
Okay.
was there anyone else in the other houses that she was close to?
Close to? Very few. Being a psyker, people tended to want to avoid her unless they were required to interact with her. She did have rivals, though. People who got on her nerves, and she, always being strong of will, had run-ins with spats, sometimes fights.
Would you know who those people were?
There was one. There was a woman from one of the other 10 houses, from one of the 10 main houses. One of their daughters, Nairis Gento, had frequent run-ins with her.
What sort of run-ins?
If I recall correctly, the spoiled daughter of the Ganto family would mock her for her unusual nature, and something heavy would happen to fall on her in response.
How is she doing lately?
If I recall correctly, in the current political rumors, she's taken up the life of a spire hunter. So, as badly as you would expect. For those unfamiliar,
I was gonna say, what's a spire hunter?
spire hunting, you know how in colonial era Britain, rich assholes from England would go on hunting trips down to Africa?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
It's
yep.
like that, but down spire.
Okay. So hunting people is what you're
Generally,
saying.
yeah. They get the best kit that money can buy and a squad of bodyguards, and they go down Hive and shoot whatever scum they come across.
When was the last time you heard of her still being alive?
Unfortunately, she's got quite the reputation as a spire hunter. She is, and being a member of House Gento, likes a lot of parties and likes to make her presence known. She is known to be alive.
Do you think she would have any relevant information for us?
There might be something there, but quite frankly, I don't know if that arrogant child would even remember my daughter's name.
Not surprised.
Is gonna lean over to Remy and ask, should we ask yet oh, what's his name? Goodness.
Who?
The brother.
Jordan.
Jordan
Ask him
as to assist us while we look for her.
what? No. We'll need him, but not now. Not. We're not taking a member of this house down into the hive. Or employees not included.
Oh, okay.
That's just there's no way that ends well. Good thought though.
Well, I mean, as far as I'm aware, he is a trained psycho with the military. I'm sure he can handle himself. I'm not saying it needs to be our first choice, but I'm saying it could
While
be.
that may be the case, I believe the point that Mr. Mara is getting at is my presence in the Underhive, especially if this Tycho knows or had a hand in influencing my sister into the path that she is on, would put a target on my back.
That's
No.
probably true. Hmm.
Not just that, and do not take this the wrong way. You're in a military hierarchical order. You know that it's a bad idea to have someone go in on an investigation of something if you have a personal connection to it. You're compromised.
This is, of course, true.
I don't doubt you could take care of yourself, but you would also at some point, whether you want to or not, endanger yourself and all of us, and probably your sister as well.
No, it's fair. If we can extract Janaya, having her in a safe environment when she first meets her brother would probably be the safer practice. Hmm.
There are ways that we can make, if that's the route we go, there are ways that we can make her aware of Jordan without risking him.
We may need to, because I doubt she will. She would trust us and just saying it.
No, but it would certainly be great if we had some way of contacting him remotely and then passing an earring on to her to have a conversation.
Mm-hmm.
There are ways we can do this. You still might think it's a trick, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But again, this is all assuming a whole lot that we even get. Yeah.
Of the other houses and places where one might be able to glean more information of my daughter's history and whereabouts, especially in the time prior to her exile, House Alignon would be the most likely to have those kinds of records. It is their primary bailiwick within the 10 houses to be the keepers of information and intelligence. They are, in many ways, the Lord Governor's spies.
Sorry, say that again.
He's basically said that of the other houses, House Alignon would be likely to potentially have information about Janaea, especially around the time before she left.
Okay.
Because they are information gatherers and keepers. They tend to generally act as the planetary governor's spies.
Got it. Yeah, fair enough. All right. So the information you provide, it's great. Appreciate it. Again, don't take this the wrong way, but what do you want from us? You could have passed this information on through Laura.
I wanted to see the people that are going to hold my daughter's life in their hands and judge them for myself.
Nothing more than that.
Aristarchus kind of shifts in his seat and tries not to look at Tina.
If there was more than that, would it really be in my business to let you know?
Yes, because if there's something you want us to do, and we unknowingly do the opposite, that's bad.
This is fair. But no. There is only the pain and regret of an old man who would be willing to do anything to see his family reunited.
Right.
And of course, your group being what it is, with such influential allies, he says, looking directly at Ceres for a moment, you stand to do the most out of anyone that could possibly be involved in this. And it is important that such matters be handled at the highest level possible.
We'll
Do
do
I
what we
want-
can.
Do I want anything else from you but to rescue my daughter? Not really. If there is anything else that I can provide that will make it easier to do so that I have not already provided, name it and it will be yours.
I think we're going to need to learn more before we can say that one way or the other.
I mean, for what it's worth, Your Lordship, my initial calculations put the success of such an endeavor somewhere between 20 and 40%.
Stop. Damn it. You're good.
Blair will
But with-
whisper to Aristarchus. Sometimes they don't need to know the stats.
Well, I'm getting to the encouraging part.
No, just drop it.
All right.
Lord Tandris just sort of shakes his head and there's an amused grin.
My lord.
So hi. I wouldn't have expected as much.
My lord, having gotten to know these individuals over the last few days, yes, they may all be unorthodox, but I believe you thought the same thing before bringing me on.
I did indeed.
For one, feel pretty confident.
Ever the optimist.
If we determine that we need more assistance, may we call on you in the future, sir?
He sort of gives like a tilted head look to Tina and her like attempt at being fancy talker.
Yep.
And just sort of nods. Of course. Any assistance that is needed will be provided.
Cool.
All right. I think it's time, if you all have enjoyed your meal, to show you to my daughter's room.
Bye.
And he will stand and start to walk out. And as he exits, Jordan sort of looks over the group of you. For what it's worth, he says, looking over the group of you, My father may be blunt and straightforward in a lot of ways, and difficult to get to open up. But he's put a lot of trust in you, telling you this. This is the kind of secret that one has a daughter that's fallen to the ruinous powers that could ruin a noble family like his.
Mm-hmm. You're not wrong.
In any event, I want to see my sister's room as well. He turns and starts to walk out.
Yeah, I'm following close behind to try and get in there before a bunch of people go in there and start tromping around.
Meta, grab anything that's not nailed down.
Right?
And with that, that's where we'll go ahead and end for the week.
Say goodbye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.